I got a feeling I'm about to get put on. I got a feeling that something finna take off. I got a feeling, and it won't be too much longer. Got a feeling coming up on the.
Like we always do about this time. I am Cornbread Capone, and this is Unpopular Honesty. And I am sitting here with my brother, Tuck. What's going on with you, my brother?
What's going on? What's going on, man? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling over there in BMT,
Oh,
home of the real and the trill?
well, right now it's rainy, so
Oh
um,
yeah.
yeah, I guess everybody's getting ready for football and kind of staying in today. You know what I'm saying? Probably ordering some takeout or something to go and bring it back home because it's wet and rainy outside. But
Well, it sure as hell ain't Southern California. You feel me?
oh no,
You
no,
know what
no,
I'm saying? It's
no.
always raining around here. Southeast Texas. It is what it is. We do the hurricanes. We do the water. It's plenty of water. It's plenty humid. Boiling it is like crawfish out here in these streets,
Yeah,
But that's a bit, man. That's a bit. Long as y'all dry and safe, you know.
something I noticed because I'm not a political person. Let me say that. Let me say that first before we even enter the.
Okay, good. Cause I'm not either, for the record.
I noticed
I
that
fucking hate politics.
there was a lot of rappers who were selected to, I guess, represent certain candidates. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, okay, they're using this as a tool to get black people to vote for them. And then I'm saying also, when I take a second look, I noticed that each and every person that they selected bear no politics within their music, their brand. They don't represent politics at all. So it's kind of hard to tell where these artists stand when they're standing by a candidate who are not political. And I know that probably rubs some people the wrong way, people who are very political and on top of their shit, I guess. Um, but I'm looking at that and I'm saying, why, why? You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Why even try? You know what I'm saying?
Why?
It, if you're a car salesman and your
Okay.
your specialty is selling cars, you're not gonna go and consort with someone who sells fruit, even though
Okay.
y'all both in the sales business. Y'all not selling the same thing. So it looks asinine when you have rappers who bear no semblance of politics within their music whatsoever.
Mm.
All of a
That's
sudden, now they,
key.
I'm just saying, and then you put them up on the podium in front of people, and it sounds like they don't know what they're talking about. It looked like they're out of place. It looks like they are lost. And I know I can't be the only one saying this or thinking this. You know what I'm saying? But it's just something that I thought when I looked at it, because I was like, something about this don't look right. You know what I'm saying? Just it don't go together.
Well,
It
I'm
don't make.
I'm trying to figure out, just in you saying that, right? So if that's the case, right? If you got a group of people who are being solicited, right, by government officials and potential candidates for election, and you got these folks coming out, like just like what you said. What's your ultimate purpose for doing this, right? To me, it was insulting. In a lot of ways, it was insulting. Um, one, it's like, why you not keeping the same energy that y'all got most of the time? You know, um, how many times has, Glorilla done some political events before all of this, right? You know what I'm saying? Like how many concerts did they ask Megan Thee Stallion to put on down at the White House, and just like you said, for some type of policy reasons or something like that before, they're pulling these people out at key times. And it's not just, necessarily the black artists, but I'm just trying to figure out, who else I care about. I don't care about Kid Rock. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about Kid Rock. Kid Rock don't represent my interests most of the time, right?
Right.
I don't know him like that. But, I'm looking at these, um powerful, beautiful, and supposedly intelligent, you know, black women, who out here and they getting it in. They getting their bread, and I guess they representing the causes that they feel like they need to represent. But your music doesn't even represent the causes.
Right. And that's
Your
and also
music, that ain't the message that you on every day.
right. And it made me think that this was like an agenda push. You know what I'm saying? Because of the type of artists and their content that they had out there. They had them out front singing and dancing. And I'm saying to myself, it almost kind of reminded me of the last couple of war shows that they had. It seems like it's an agenda push. I haven't watched them in their entirety, but I've seen clips or what I'm saying, little pieces of it, and it looks like an agenda push, and it kind of looked like the same thing, like an agenda push, like we're gonna push this agenda. We all know what that agenda is. You know what I'm saying? So, but to use that to entice people to vote, in particular, use it in to make black people vote is a backwards move, and it's an insult to intelligent black people who don't need their favorite artist to go out there and vote.
Right,
You know, and so
right.
for those of us who are into those type of things, you know what I'm saying. So that's my whole thought behind it. This this situation with Mr. Combs is getting very interesting to say the least. Uh,
Is there something new? Is there something new that just popped off that I don't know about? Because that's so
oh,
messy, man.
like
That
like
situation
every
is
day.
messy.
It seems like every day, every time I turn around, it's something new, and it's pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty bad, but this is where I am with it. You know, for those people who are involved, who were a part of my playlist has been affected, and not only that, I'm not able to look at certain individuals the same, not after knowing certain information. And mind you, I have had a chance to listen to the audio version of Kim Porter's book, and it's a very, very telling book. And it explains a lot that is underscored in many of the lawsuits. I've even heard that the feds have gotten a hold to this and they have admitted this as evidence. And it's like Kim Porter is working from the other side almost. You know what I'm saying? Because that book, that book what was said in that book lines up so much about the accusations that we've been hearing about for years. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
it's
man. Look, all of they say where there's smoke, there's fire usually. Um, not every time, but usually. And it's just what the most amazing part of all of this is are the deaths, right? To me personally, like I get the pain that victims have to deal with, for the rest of their life, right? Like they have to live with these things. But I'm looking at the deaths involved with this whole situation. And when you start looking at the people that were dying from these weird off the wall reasons, people that's normally healthy, but then next thing you know, they're dead, supposedly after having some type of falling out, with Diddy or whatever, to me, that's like the most amazing thing. I don't know if it's because I like, you know, unsolved mysteries and shit you see on TV, right? But this is all on television. This is all real shit. People, just dying and disappearing and you know these lockbox evidence and shit popping up everywhere, books and fucking this shit is crazy, man.
yeah, it's crazy.
This I mean, and I see why, 50 Cent is setting all of this setting up, to get a movie and all this stuff going because bro, this shit is interesting just to see the intricacies of how all of this went down and all the people that turned their head and all of the victims, all of the death, all of the money, all of the drugs, the violence. I mean, it all just reads like some crazy movie that somebody made up, you know? I mean, just think about from the time that Diddy started in the industry, you know, dancing and doing this thing, rising up to become a businessman, getting Bad Boy going, getting underneath the wing of all of these major record labels and all of these execs. And we haven't even talked about all of the execs and all that stuff, man. Everybody who's involved on the top the top side of things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's some snitching going on in the back. They in the back talking about, look, we know all. Look, you better tell us everything, or you going. We're gonna put your ass under the jail. You understand what I'm saying?
Man,
So
that might be next. That might be the next thing you see. I mean, I'm hearing that's what's set to happen before Christmas. But hey, because the reality of the matter is, I'm gonna keep it real. Um, I'm not in any way defending the accused, but I will point out that he is charged with a RICO. And when you are charged with a RICO involves more than one person. Right now, as of right now, he is the only person behind bars. But now that could change by Christmas time, from what I heard, because there are other people who are involved. There are other people. There's been celebrities who have been who have paid hush money to be not associated with the lawsuit, the case, because they don't want it to hurt their brand. I would love to know who those celebrities are for the record. And but there a lot of moving parts to this thing because it involves not just him, it involves other people. And a lot of this
bro.
caught on tape. So you can't beat tapes. We can say what we want, but when they put in and say exhibit A and press play, you can't beat what you see. You know what I'm saying? So
Bro, imagine being a motherfucking detective or a cop and you seeing this shit. You getting all these evidence tapes, all these stars, and they all up in there, ass out, doing who knows what with who.
and this might be somebody you watched all they movies. You didn't watch them on television in miniseries, or maybe you grew up listening to their music, and now you see them in this tape. And I don't know what will go through the mind of that person, but I know for me, just hearing about it, it makes me look at people different. You know what I'm saying? I can't look at people the same, and I can be bold enough to admit that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Well let's be clear because I said something I want to make sure I'm sensitive to any victims because all of these tapes aren't of people in there dancing and having a good time and just wilding out, right?
right, and I'm
Like
making
some
it.
of this stuff, I'm sure some of this stuff is very inappropriate and if anybody who was underage, especially not just underage people were victims, but especially if they were underage. I mean, my heart goes out to these folks, man.
Yeah,
Who
some
get caught up in this stuff. You know,
some of that on there too. I mean, it seemed like it's a mixture of, from what they've been saying, it's a mixture of everything. It's men, women, and the underage. You know what I'm saying? So that makes it that makes this all very, very bad. But to be
it's
honest with
tough. It's tough, man.
you,
It's tough.
it's
Tough
something that
stuff.
I'm clear. You said, imagine being a cop. Well, it is no secret that the accused, who is currently behind bars right now, has been working with the feds for a long time. And it was a whisper probably in the early 2000s, just like it was whispers about his activity. Whispers, meaning not loud voices, not somebody standing on a pulpit with a microphone and a big speaker behind them. Whispers. You know what I'm saying? Because it was, this had been whispered just like his activity. So I would say if he was working with them, they knew. They were just getting
Well,
their they was probably getting their pockets greased because this is also a part of it too. He also used money to manipulate situations, to manipulate cases, to handle people, to silence people, to make people do things. So all this is a part of, all this whole thing is wrapped up in a one big crazy ass bow with all these boatloads of charges and boatloads of lawsuits. But
yeah.
this is real, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are quiet, and I'm paying attention to the people who haven't said a word. There's been some silent hitters.
Well, I tell you what, speaking of when you in the hip hop industry, it's always gonna be some police around. When you talking about hip hop, there's gonna always be some cops around. But uh, what you think about Gunna and Thug getting out? And
I think
what's
I
what
mean
you think
I
about all this, man? What's going on, man? Because
I
you
never
know,
I never was a fan
I
of
think
any.
people splitting sides on this thing.
I never was a fan of a man who wore a dress in the first place.
Mm,
I don't consider
okay.
I don't consider
Okay.
Young Thug an artist. I don't consider him a rapper. I consider him a noise
Put that
producer.
on the record, huh?
He hasn't made anything of significance. What has he made of significance that stands out to me? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Fair enough.
his
Fair
music
enough.
is about
Fair
nothing.
enough. But a lot of people like his music. Okay, a lot of people do see the artistry in him or artistry in him. A lot of people think that he has made a mark on the hip hop industry or rap industry or genre, so to speak,
So
respectively. So in saying that, well, what do you think about Gunna as an artist?
I don't consider him an artist either. I mean, I
Okay,
mean, I
okay,
call him a rapper, and then I heard his song. He's not rapping; he's harmonizing on it. So I'm like, okay, well, what is this all about? And this is supposed to be like the best music out, and it's not. It's terrible. It's what are y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe if I was younger, I would get it, but because I'm
maybe
older.
I should ask you this question.
I don't get it. I mean, it's trash. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not for me. I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes don't even get no consideration. You know what I'm saying? They're not a part of hip hop.
okay.
I'm concerned.
Dang, no consider, just no, not even an honorable mention.
I'm sorry, man.
Not even the niggas ain't make the district team like they don't even get honorable mention that like none of that shit.
My
Nothing.
ears, my ear, my house, my car, wherever
Uh
we have a strict policy.
talk to me.
I have a very strict policy, and
I
it
and
has
I and I know the policy.
and it has not failed me
I
yet.
know the policy.
It has not failed me yet. It has not failed me yet. And I'm gonna say it for everybody out there because some people heard this and they laughed when I said it. And some people said that, boy, you are exactly correct when you said that. Wherever there's stupid sounds, you can expect stupid activity. And that is so true. That is so true. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like over here,
Man,
we
you hurting my
understand,
neck, man. You making my
we
neck
understand,
hurt, man.
we understand what real music
You
is. We
making
know
my
what
neck
real,
hurt.
we appreciate what real music is. Real music was made in the
Look, man.
1960s,
Look.
in the 1970s, in
I'm
the
not gonna
80s.
let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do it. No, I'm not
I'm
gonna let
sorry.
you do it, cornbread. I ain't letting you
Listen,
get away with this. You're not gonna talk about these black men and their ability to make music. Okay, music is subjective. Is just like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. And Thug make good music for some people, just like Gunna make good music for some people. And just because you don't like it, don't mean that they not artists, and it don't mean that they not good at what they do. All right, now that's for the record too. Now
sorry.
finish what you were saying.
I'm sorry. Music today is 98% garbage juice. It's 98% trash. And
I would agree with that.
that includes Gunna, that includes Drake, that includes Future, that includes a lot of people. 98%. Listen to what I said. 98%. That only leaves a handful of people. That only leaves Kendrick, Cole, Joyner Lucas, Jadakiss, Nas, Eminem. Those are real MCs. Lupe Fiasco. These are real rappers. West Side Gun, uh, Benny the Butcher. These are real MCs. Royce the 5'9". These are real MCs. That is real hip hop. Gunna and Young Thug, that is not hip hop. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to offend nobody. But I'm gonna just say that
Well,
ain't hip hop. That is not hip hop.
okay, okay, okay. Fair enough. That's not hip hop. Got you. Got you. Okay. Well, we gotta find a category for this shit. Okay. We can't just have them
Noise
niggas
pollution.
just out here making music and they don't get
I'm
no
talking noise
category
pollution.
cornbread. They got
I'm
they
talking
they deserve a
noise pollution.
category too. So since you saying that they not hip hop, okay, you gotta figure out a non-offensive category to put these brothers in. They put in work. They earned the category too. If they can't be in that category, then what can they be in? I think it's
I put
okay
him,
for them to be in the hip hop category, but
put him
look,
in a noise pollution
come on,
category.
man. In
I
the
put him in a
what?
noise pollution
Noise
category
pollution.
because what has Young Thug made that is standout or significant or that could be considered classic? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Okay. I mean, just even. I mean, are we talking just features, like just regular
I'm
songs?
talking about anything he has ever made because I've heard his songs by himself and that sounds terrible. And then I've heard him on features with other more credible artists. And I said, wow, he brought down the quality of that song super fast. Soon as he opened his mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying to myself, what have you made of significance? What have you made to be even mentioned? You know what I'm saying? Like nothing. Same thing with Gunna. What have you made that is good, decent, all right, okay, classic, any of those? Nothing. So what are we talking about if you haven't made anything of significance? What are we talking about? Are we talking
Oh
about
man.
popularity? Are we talking about numbers? Are we talking because that's the metrics that people seem to use when they uh discussing or debating their favorite artists. Oh, look at his numbers. Oh, he sold this. Oh, he stole that. Oh, this went number one. Well, none of that dictates talent. None of that dictates music quality. So what are we talking about? If the artists we talking about haven't made anything of significance, yet they have numbers, yet they making money selling records, what does it all mean?
Well, okay, okay. Well, look at here, man. I'm not gonna try to convince you to
I'm,
like, you know,
I
um,
just ask the tough questions that the next man's scared to ask. That's all. And I've learned a way to take off the offensive side to it because it's a whole offensive side that I can go into that really don't have nothing to do with music. I'm keeping the conversation about music. So, in the vein of keeping it about music, I'm gonna ask, what have they made as significant? What record has Young Thug made that can stand next to a classic '90s record? Nothing.
I
What
mean,
record has he made that can stand up to a classic '90s hip hop record? Nothing.
well, let's just keep it a book. Like, not all '90s hip hop rappers was the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like they was all coming out hard. And
I
Young
don't think
Thug,
it was
like I
about
say, he
being
may
the
not be for everybody. You
because
know.
back then it wasn't nobody was claiming to be the best. They just did what they did and represented what they represented. I liked it because it was diversity. You was able to go look one side and get a tribe and look to the other side and get Snoop in them. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was diverse and nobody was trying to sound alike, look alike. Everybody had their own musical identity. Everybody had their own individuality and originality to them. Now give and take. Now I'm gonna be transparent too, because every time something blew up and became big, you always had people who were trying to play the bandwagon, like act as if they were on the same thing that this popular artist might have been on. Like for instance, when Snoop first came out, you know how many people uh in rap because before that it was about having a hard voice and sounding hard, but then Snoop came in the door and made it smooth and made it able for you to be like, yeah, laid back and cool with it. And then a couple of artists tried to adopt that cool into their music. You know what I'm saying? So there was a little bit of biting going on in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Now, was it blatant as it is today? No. You know what I'm saying? Everybody still had their individuality outside of those who were obviously trying to take crumbs off of someone's successful table, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a fan of hip hop today, or what they consider hip hop today. That's why I rarely go anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess I definitely don't need to ask you what you think about old Wayne and not being in the Super Bowl and all of that. I don't even think Wayne was even worried about it until people start talking about it for real. You know,
As
seemed like that
far
shit just kind of got created out of the atmosphere, man. You know,
I didn't
but
think too much
it,
of that conversation. I will say this. Uh, I was happy to see the reunion of the Hot Boys on stage for the first time in over 20 years.
now you
Because
talking about something right there.
despite how I may feel about certain individuals within that camp, I've always been a fan of Juvenile. I've always been a fan of BG. I've always had respect for Turk, and I always had respect for the production genius that is Manny Fresh.
What's Juvie's best album? What's your favorite Juvie album?
My favorite Juvenile album obviously is going to be 400 Degrees, but I love Juvie the Great too because Juvie the Great came out. I was living in Houston when Juvie the Great came out, and actually, uh, I had got Juvie the Great probably a week before it hit the stores, so I had a chance to listen to it, and
Yeah.
I love that album from beginning
Yeah,
to end.
Juve the Great is definitely a classic. That's probably gonna be my favorite juvenile album for sure. Yeah, no
Now
doubt.
you probably wasn't a BG fan, but someone
I
we
like
both
BG. I like BG. I wouldn't say
someone
I
we
was
both
a
love.
fan, but I like BG. I still like BG. I'm glad
Uh,
he out doing his thing and back doing music. I
yeah,
fuck with him. He a real street nigga, man. So
I'm gonna say
I fuck with BG.
based off that reunion show, I feel like they gonna make a whole lot of money if they decide to actually go on a reunion tour. They're gonna make a whole lot of money with that because obviously the people organizing or sponsoring that would have to pay all of them. You know what I'm saying? I would say equally. You know, but as far as BG, long before they signed their major deal with Universal, uh, I got on to Cash Money through Big E because Big E would go to Louisiana and buy, store bought music, come back with it. Nah,
Yeah.
and he had me on Cash Money really before BG and them was there. I was listening to Miss T and UNLV and all that stuff before BG had got there. Then he had the True Story, and I didn't hear that one. That was the first. But then there was the one where it looked like it was raining bullets on the cover, and he was standing in the middle. You know what I'm saying? I forget the name. I think it was called Chopper City. He had that one,
Okay.
and he had because I want to say BG had like two albums out in 1 year because he had another album too, and Big E had both of them. And so we were listening to them all. I was like, damn, that shit jamming like a motherfucker. Danny Fresh on there beating, BG on there going, you know what I'm saying, hard. He's very consistent as an artist. So I mean, this is when we were Cash Money fans. This is what made me a fan of them, their underground work. You know what I'm saying? Before, because when it got to the major, when they got to the major deal, they were still making good music, but then it capped out at a certain time because once you start adding water to the situation, which is kind of what happened in the year 2000 to most of all hip hop, it just
Yeah.
they started putting a cup of water in every year, just a cup every year, cup. You know what I'm saying? And
Wine. Did you like wine?
yeah, you know, they were still, and to their credit, they were still making good music in the 2000s because Juvenile had Juvie the Great, Project English, and
Juve.
he had that reality check. I like that album too. BG had the Heart of the Streets, and he had the if you want it, I got it.
Got it.
Yeah,
Don't make it go in my pocket.
Juvenile did the Know
Yeah.
UTP, so they continue to have good music, and I fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? So I was happy to see them on stage. Shout out to them. Hope they getting all their money and shit. Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
Man, look, I think we ended on that note, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, on behalf of Brother Chuck, I am Cornbread Capone, and this is Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip hop music. And until next time, everybody, peace and love, because that's what the world needs in a major way. Peace and love.
Peace.